and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Compliments of the season. So guys, I hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. So today guys, I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a trendy and kiss pleated and slit. So I'm just going to call it a kiss and pleat, a trendy kiss and pleat sleeve. So, and this sleeve, we're going to be cutting it. We're going to be using the flare form to cut it. So you can decide to do it straight, but if you do it straight, just like straight strap, it will not really come out fine. So we're going to be using the flare form to cut it out. So if you are new to my channel and you haven't subscribed already, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel, hit on the notification bell just to get updated whenever I upload a new video. So guys, my old subscribers, I want to really say thank you for your support throughout this year. I'm really grateful guys for supporting my channel. So without much talk, so I'm just going to go straight to the calculations that we're going to be making use of today. So for this kind of sleeve, and the first thing that you're going to consider is the armhole. So for my armhole, so when you measure around your armhole, what's the armhole measurement that I'm going to be using today is actually 18 inches. So for this kind of sleeve, depends on how full you want it to be. You can decide to times your measurement into 2 or you times it by 3. But I would like the picture that you have here, it was probably times 3 times, so to make it fuller. So I'm going to be timesing that's multiplying. I'm going to multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply by 3. So when you multiply 18 by 3, you are going to have 54 inches. So it's 54 inches around. That's what we are going to be cutting out, and then you determine the length, how much you want it. So we're just going to get started. I'm going to use the regular and flare and formula to cut out. So I'm going to be cutting on my pattern paper first before I transfer to my fabric for better effect, because we're going to be using, if you find that you see that it is a 3-layer sleeve, so we're going to be cutting and then we'll be adjusting on the pattern paper. So if you are using your regular flare formula, for those of you that don't know how to do it, you are going to you're going to divide 54, because that's the round armhole. You are going to divide it now by 6.28. So I'm just going to go over it again. 18 times 3 gives me 54. 18 is my round armhole. Gives me, when you times it by 3, I have 54. And I will now divide 54 by 6.28. So when I divide 54 by 6.28, I have approximately 8.6. So the circle that I'm going to be making here, I'm going to be using 8.6. So we're just going to get started straight without much talk. So you're just going to take your tape like this, and then I'm going to measure. So I'll put it on this sharp part of my pattern paper. So you see my pattern paper is folded into 4. So I'm trying to measure 8.6 out of this point. So I'm just going to mark it like this, and then I'm going to mark it round. So the next thing I'm going to measure now, I'm going to measure the length. So the length, you are going to determine the length that you are going to measure, since it is a 3-layer sleeve. So the first length I'm going to measure is the biggest part. That's the one that is down. That's what I'm going to measure. So with this pattern paper, because all of them, the radius is going to be the same. This is the radius. That's what I just measure, pi r square. So that's what you actually use to calculate your radius. So the next thing I'm going to measure now is the length. So you can determine how much length you actually want for this. So I'm going to be making use of about 7 inches or 6.5 inches for the length that I'm going to be making use of. Okay guys, so you see this is just like my sleeve now, so I'm going to cut it out. So you see what I have. So this is my sleeve. So I'm going to open it on one side. So that's the part that I'm going to be opening it. That's the part where I'm going to open it. So that's actually the part that is going to be on the down part of the sleeve. So before I open it, I'm going to use this to cut out the first part of my sleeve. So I'll make use of this fabric. So I'm just going to fold, and then I'll cut out. So I've cut out the first one. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce. So this is the first layer. So I'm going to reduce. I'm just going to reduce all of the layers now. So because I'm going to be cutting it out directly here. So the second layer that I'm going to do, initially I actually used 7 inches for this first one. So the next one I'm going to use about 4.5 inches because I want it to have a very clear difference. So 4.5 inches, I'm just going to mark it around here. So this is the second layer. So this part I'm going to cut it off now. So we're going to use this to cut out the second layer. So before I do that, I'm just going to mark out the third one. So we'll just cut at once. So for the third one, you're just going to reduce to how much length you want also. So for this, I'm going to use 2.5 inches or 3 inches. So I'm going to cut this out and then cut the third one out now before we start stitching. Okay guys, so you could see, so I finished cutting the 3 layers of my sleeve. So this is how you cut them. So for the picture that is up there, you can decide to do it like that. So because you are going to be cutting out 2 pieces each, because you are going to be turning with satin, because it is a sleeve, because it is a standing sleeve. So you are not going to use the regular lining to turn it. You are going to be your fabric, you are going to be turning it. You either turn it with a satin or you turn with a taffeta. So you are going to be cutting another piece just like this, and then this, that you are going to use to turn your sleeve out. And then in turning out, you are going to iron strong, medium strong interfacing. So this is like medium strong interfacing. You are going to iron it on all of the piece, and then you can decide to make use of a crinoline. So this is a crinoline. In case you don't know what it is, when you go to regular fabric accessory shop, you get them, or you go to shops where they make these people that make hats, they also sell them. So you have a different texture of them. You have some that are thicker than this. So you can decide to, if you don't want to use interfacing, you can decide to make use of a crinoline. So all you are just going to do, you are just going to place and place the other one, and then sew and turn. So because this is just like a rough illustration, I'm not going to be turning it. I'm just trying to show you how to achieve the sleeve. So this is what you do. So after sewing and turning, like I said, the next thing we are going to do, I'm going to join all of them on top of each other. That's, I'm going to place them in a long and stretch like this, and then I'm going to stitch from this point. I'm going to stitch. So I'm just going to go and do that now on my machine. So when I come back, I'll come and show you. I'm going to show you how to pleat it to fit into that 18 inches that will enter into our sleeve. So I will do that now. Okay, so guys, so you see I finished stitching it together. So like I said, so you are going to sew and turn, so that will make it full and bulky. So after sewing and turning, and then you join all of them together like this, you are going to take the center of your sleeve like this. You're just going to take the center like this, and then you are going to put a notch at the middle like this. So you are going to start pleating. So once you put a notch like this, here is what we are going to do. So you are just going to determine how much fullness you want it to be. But if you don't know, you don't want your sleeve to be so full, you can times your measurement by 2. I actually did mine into 3, or you can use 2.5 to times it. So the first thing I'm going to come onto this is my center point here. I'm just going to measure 5 inches to my right hand side. So after measuring 5 inches to my right hand side, before I start so I want to do the key split, I'm going to measure, this is the center, so from my 5 inches I'm going to measure 7 inches because I want my the key split to be very full. So I'm just going to take those 5 inches on points like this. I'm going to bring it to those points like this, to the 7-inch point, and then I'm going to secure it down with a pin like this. So after securing it down with a pin, I'm going to do the one on this side. So I'm going to measure 5 inches again to this side, 5 inches to this side. So from the 5 inches I'll measure 7 inches. So I'll take my 5 inches like this, and then I'll bring it to my 7 inches. So this is the center part. So my sleeve is the fabric is a little bit truncated on this part. So you're just going to pin it together. So this is the center of your sleeve. That's where the part that will be on the shoulder. That's the center part of the shoulder. So I'm just going to pin it down. So I'll pin it here because we're going to be stitching it. You pin it down like this. So the next thing you are going to do from this point now, from this point, I'm going to measure another 5 inches like this. You know, this is actually a kiss and pleat. So I'm going to measure another 5 inches like this, and then I'm going to bring it here. I'll pin it together like this. And then from this point, so I'll just repeat it the same 5 inches to this side. So what you do to this side, you do to the other side to make your fabric even. You're going to take it and bring it to this side like this. So what we have is still more than 18 inches. You know, we actually want 18 inches. So everything put together, because of the excess that I measured, I didn't bother adding allowance to it. I know I'll be able to take out my allowance from there. So from this point now, I'm going to measure another 5 inches to the right hand side. So I'm just going to place my tape like this. And then this is 5 inches. And then from 5 inches now, measure 2 inches. So I'm going to take my 5 inches point like this and then bring it to my 2 inches point. And then I'm going to pin it. And then I'll repeat the same thing. So from here, 5 inches and then 2 inches. So at the end of the day, I'm going to measure what I have here. So you see what I have? I have 20 inches. So I'm going to use 2 inches to stitch it close like this. And then before I'll fix it, so I'll fix it on the mannequin for you to see how to okay, I'll just show you how to fix it on the sleeve, on the dress. So I'm going to go and join and then show you how to connect it to the dress. Okay guys, so you could see, so this is the sleeve. So this is the armhole part, that's the down part. So once you are done, you are just going to stitch it, just give it a straight stitch, and then you have your sleeve all well and laid out. So the next thing, so that notch that you put at the center, you are going to start fixing. So in fixing, you are just going to take your dress like this. So I'm just going to assume this is my dress. So here's what I'm going to do. So you can either start fixing from the top. You can either start fixing from the top point like this, and then you fix down, or you can decide to just start from the stitch part, from the armhole, that's from the armpit and part of your sleeve. So you're just going to fix it just the way you fix your regular sleeve, and then you are just going to fix it to it. So I'm just going to do that now and then put it on the mannequin. Okay guys, so you could see, so this is the final look of our trendy pleated and sleeve. So like I said, all you have to do is just to double your fabric and then use a medium interfacing for it, or you use a crinoline. and then you see the standing effect is really going to be really obvious. So guys, so if you find this video, if you find it helpful, I would appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up and then share it with your friends. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye bye.